Let's bring in Karl Rove, former White House Deputy Chief of Staff, also a Fox News contributor. Karl, we could take a look on screen at the slate of candidates being backed by Mamdani versus the Democratic establishment in New York. Seems to me these primaries are going to answer this burning question, which is whether Mamdani was an outlier for the DSA or whether they are, in fact, now really establishing a foothold for themselves in the Empire State.
Well, I think you're right that it is a test of his power inside New York City. But let's be clear, New York City is not America. 66% of the registered voters in the 5 boroughs of New York City are registered Democrats, and 16% are registered Republicans. So, he got 50.4% of the vote in a city that's overwhelmingly Democrat. That suggests that the Democratic Socialist message might not be all that popular. Just take one of those candidates, for example. In the 13th district, he's backing a woman named Chevalier. She said in 2021, she was so furious with Kamala Harris not being left-wing enough, she posted, "I have no nuance, F Kamala Harris." She's in favor of abolishing ICE. She attended a rally celebrating the attack on Israel on the 7th of October. She has called the Israelis conducting genocide in Gaza. She's in favor of a 32-hour work week with no loss in pay from what you would get paid for a 40-hour week. She wants a federal job guarantee. The federal government will guarantee you a job. And she wants free child care, free pre-K, and free health care. Well, who's going to pay for that is unclear exactly. But that's how left-wing she is. And she's not even the worst of the lot.
Well, and Chevalier actually took it a step further, as you know, Karl, and said, we don't actually just want to abolish ICE. We want to actually abolish deportations entirely, including for people in the country illegally who have committed crimes here. I mean, that certainly cannot be where the center of energy is for all of America, never mind for all of New York City.
Yeah, exactly. And she's not alone. Valdez in the 7th, abolish ICE, 32-hour work week, legalize strikes by federal employees, wants a Green New Deal and Medicare for all. Again, pretty left-wing. And then you got the guy Brad Ladner, who used to be the comptroller of New York City. He resigned from the Democratic Socialists because of what their support for the attack by Hamas on Israel on October 7th. But he wants 13 Supreme Court justices, a national wealth tax, abolish ICE, and Medicare for all. So, they've got a clean set of very left-wing candidates who might win. I mean, after all, the 7th congressional district where Valdez is running is nicknamed the Commie Corridor. It's the part of Brooklyn, northern part of Brooklyn, and the southern part of Queens, and as a result, is very left-wing, very young, very progressive, and you've got 2 very progressive candidates running, and it's Valdez, the more left-wing of them, that's backed by the mayor.
I guess another question here, Karl, is whether people who vote for these candidates, the Democrats who get in line behind them, are going to overlook those issues in favor of the central part of the DSA platform. We can argue about their policy prescriptions all day long. Some of them are pretty extreme. You laid them out there. But the one thing that the Dem socialists have done well is over and over and over again just hammer the idea of affordability, which is something that folks, not just in New York, but all across the country, are concerned about. It remains the nationwide #1 priority for voters heading into the next round of elections. Are they going to say screw it and back these people because they're identifying a problem that the Biden administration chose not to acknowledge?
Yeah, well, I think they might in the more left-wing parts of the country, but it also depends upon the Republicans and what they do in these more battleground areas. Do they say, really, you want a lot of free things and you somehow think that's going to make it all affordable? Who's going to pick up the tab for free health care and free pre-K and free child care and free this and free that. The campaigns are, in essence, a battle between two visions, and the question is whether the Republicans try and make what these left-wingers are for in New York to be answerable by the local Democrat. Are you in favor, like the Democrats in New York seem to be in favor of abolishing ICE? Some Democrats, smart Democrats, will say, no, I'm not in favor of that. But that begins to alienate people inside their own party. So the question is, will Republicans go on the offense using the examples of these very left-wing candidates like Plattner in Maine, or potentially the Democratic candidate for the Senate in Michigan, El Said? Are they going to use these as a way to go on the offense?
All right. Well, Karl, we'll have a lot to break down tomorrow. Thanks for taking time with us. Great to talk to you.
You bet, and thank you. And John got his new house not in 1910, it was 1930. It was not 1910.
A hot fact check there from Karl. Thank you, Karl.
Hey,
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.